going on in here? Bob's making various tapping noises. It's all this tapping going on.
We're hammering, so I'm pressing because they're stainless.
Fret job.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Bill's guitar.
This is a Eric Johnson rosewood guitar that I am doing right now.
It's got the rosewood thingy on it.
Huh?
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's got the dark wood.
Rosewood board.
Not like yours.
It's bound, so
Oh, it's got the plastic around it.
It's bound, so it's a pain in the ass because binding sucks. Binding is just I hate binding on guitars.
Because you do fret jobs.
Yeah, I mean, on a 50s Gibson, binding was thin as paper. The fret job was done properly right to the end of the wood, not this cut and under stuff, you know. And then in that situation, you get a good solid fret job, but they didn't plan on you ever refretting the guitar. But I've done a lot of 50s Gibsons where I just peel the binding off with my fingernail, literally, and then clamp it down so it don't shrink too bad, and then glue it back on. When the fret job's done, you get a nice solid factory refret, but you ain't taking these bindings off. These modern bindings are glued on heavily. They're very thick.
So you have to fret around them?
The frets are designed to go over the binding, which is just a bad fret job. It's just...
Well, at least it's getting its forever fret job, right?
Well, yeah, I'll never have to fret it again. It's stainless.
That's good news, since you enjoy doing it so much.
Yep. Watch that seat. Why don't you put the camera right down on that seat. Check that seat out, huh? Now, there's something about these Eric Johnson guitars that's different than a lot of these other modern Fenders or other guitars that I see. The standard is these big giant 23,000 slots now, which is a very loose fit, and they super glue just the ends of the fret and just barely press them in. When I pull them out, they come out like nothing, like they're not even in there. And those guitars sound terrible. And Eric knows some things about guitars. I seriously think that he specs these guitars. These slots are freaking tight, okay? These slots are not 23 thousandths. They're very tight. You get a bitchin' seat, you know, with a lot of pressure. Very nice. That's one thing about these Eric Johnson guitars. There's a few things about them that he specs that people don't, you know, people that don't know about guitars probably don't. You know, they talk about the color of it or something, but not some of these little details that he knows. That's an undercut fret. And on stainless, that's a pain in the ass to get that.
Turn it and catch the glistening.
Glistening?
The shine.
How about
different sides.
How about the pain in my hand? Can you see the pain in my hand from cutting 22 of those? 21 of those?
Pretty much, yeah. I can hear the pain in your voice.
Yeah, Bob hates binding. Bob hates fretting over binding. But of course,
the stainless steel frets hurt your muscles.
Yeah, it hurts my muscles. But when in Rome, right, you eat spaghetti. And you've got to adjust these tangs. You've got to look at them close, because you do not want to push that binding out. But if you cut them far back, then you get a real shit fret job. You got no tang under the E strings, you know. So it's stressful because you want to make sure you don't push them out. Look at that seat. Filming that? Nice. Now, if these were nickel silver frets, I would hammer them in.
So the little barb things in there are biting into the wood. Is that what you're saying about the seat there?
Yeah, because usually to get one of my kind of fret jobs that are good and solid, I have to bitch all of these tangs up and make new tangs, new cleats, and oh my god, it's a lot of frickin' work, okay? Because people fret guitars very loosely now. They don't want any trouble with the bowing back and this and that. And they don't, I don't know if they realize it or they just don't care, but it makes for a horrible sounding guitar, okay? It's not
So you don't have to bitch the Tang on this.
I don't have to bitch the Tang on this because Eric probably spec'd these slots really tight. You know, I mean, I'm pretty
Thanks,
sure,
Eric.
I'm pretty sure he told, you know, yeah, because I don't see any of their other guitars like this where it's that easy for me to refret them. They're usually a lot more work.
Bitch the Tang. That's kind of funny sounding.
You see how close these are, the ends? Okay, it still sucks as far as I'm concerned. You still don't have Tang all the way to the end. There's no way to figure that, okay?
Because of the binding?
Because of the binding. But you do want, you know, a good solid, you want as much as you can get. I got to get a different angle here. That camera's missing.
I'll come around here.
Yeah.
See, you're using your chawed up hammer.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. And I would never tap this hard enough to change the radius of this fret. Because when you do stainless, one of the learning curves you'll learn is that you don't want that. I want you to see how much space.
Okay.
Well, let's do it this way. Hold on.
Bob's little holder thing.
Let me show it to you this way. This piece of wire is bent for 12 for this guitar because I won't be able to hold that little fret wire where the camera would see it. Okay. You don't want no more height at the middle than that sliver, okay?
Okay, wait. Let me catch the sliver. Oh, okay, I got the sliver.
Because it's unforgiving.
Because it won't.
It'll pop back up in the middle.
Whatever you set
standard
it to.
fret wire. Standard fret wire won't. This fret wire will. So you have to be very careful with that.
So when you hit it with a hammer, you're just getting it to bite into the ends, and then you use the red machine to get it.
But what I'm talking about is you don't want much more of a bend on your wire where with standard frets you want a little more of a bend because as you carefully hammer them in, the ends go down and then they cut in as the radius disappears, the over radius, it cuts a line, cutting those tangs in real hard, holds those ends down really good. You don't get that option with stainless, okay? You have to just...
It keeps whatever curve you set on it?
Yeah, you have to just take what you get. Okay, so I'm out of my space now, so now I'm going to be on the I'm going to be on the
okay, that's the part where it connects onto the guitar.
Yeah, when you on a Strat neck, when you get to this point, you have to switch. Look at that seat. Check that out. Nice, huh?
Looks fine to me.
This is a fret job that, because the slots are proper size for a good fret job, and if you're worried about a neck this skinny bowing back, I don't know what gauge strings you're using, but there's like nothing here, you know? So a good tight, solid fret job equals tone.
It's like a popsicle stick.
Yeah, a super glue 2-end fret job is garbage to me. I wouldn't even play a guitar. I can hear it. The first note I play, I can hear that guitar's not fretted properly. You know, nothing I like. I like good, solid, cleated fret jobs. Okay, nice. Got nothing out of that. That's just dead seated nice. So when Bill goes to play this guitar, he can see the work. Well, only some of it. You know.
Not wasting much glue on there, huh?
You don't need much. You just need to fill that slot. Those are so tight I can't even push them in, okay? You see? And it's odd because those gang saws they have over there, unless they're CNCing these now, Fender always used gang saws, but I don't know anything about what goes on in that factory now. If they're CNCing these, I got to get over here. They can have a cutter for these ones that they want the tighter fit on. A separate, you know, a cutter that's like 20. Because those slots, I mic them at 20. Okay. See, always check that those, you try to get really close when you cut those. Don't cut them way in like some people do, because then you got nothing under your E-strings. But be careful when you go to set them that you're not going to push the binding out somewhere, you know. These are just some little tips for
People refretting,
beginners,
bound,
guys that have been doing this as long as me.
Stratocaster.
They've learned all this shit. Always remember, if you're going to do your first stainless fret job, it has nothing to do with what you know about nickel silver. It's totally different, okay? It's a whole nother learning curve. If they're in like this, tight like this, they sound good. If they're in loose, like every guitar sounds like, any fret sounds like shit in loose, but a stainless fret in loose is bad. It's rattly sounding. When people say, oh, I tried those stainless frets, I don't like the sound of them. Yeah, well, how are they put in, you know? I guarantee you, you play this guitar when I'm done, it'll sound frickin' solid, you know? And if I didn't have these slots, if I had those loosey-goosey shit slots like are on most guitars now, I would have to sit here with each fret and rebuild the bars to the size I want. And keep in mind, when you do that, it has a lot to do with...
You have to bitch the Tang?
No, you're going to change your radius when you're bitching that Tang. So, you know, you have to do the whole piece before you roll it. So that, because it's not nickel silver. Nickel silver you can have an over bend. This has to be bent exactly. So when you bitch these Tangs, it opens up your bend. Okay? So you have to bitch the Tangs first and then grind out your bender so that the bitch Tangs fit in the slot. So, you know, so it doesn't ruin them. No, it's a lot of work.
It sounds like it.
But these tight slots, you know.
Bob's not a perfectionist or anything.
Yeah, I like fretting these Johnson guitars because they have tight slots. This one's really close. Can't get them all exactly, you know. I mean, you're cutting these by hand, right? It's a good video though, because getting some good angles. I mean, look at the seat on that fret job. There's no clamping yet.
Okay.
You know, I'll clamp it when I'm done because that glue won't be hard for 24 hours. But I'll put a caul across the whole thing and clamp it just to get the perfect seat. I'll barely have to file these. When everyone complains about all their fret files wearing out, yeah, you put them in right. You won't have that problem. You don't have to take much off.
If you cut it tight.
Seeing that? Yeah. No, if you have a nice fit and this is planed properly, and I wouldn't dare take anything off of this. This neck didn't have any problems, so all I did was clean the surface, you know, with very light sandpaper. I did not have to like reshape anything. It didn't have a heel hook or this or that. All the things you have to do when you refret a guitar. It was very, very forgiving in that I didn't have to do a lot of stuff.
How long you want this video to be? We're coming up on 15 minutes.
Really?
Yep.
Now, you see that second push got maybe the tiniest little beads of glue? The tiniest little.
I see it. Yeah, there I can see it there. Don't put too much glue on there, guys.
It squeezes out one way or the other. So,
Then you have to clean it off.
but
Here's Bob's method of putting the glue in.
it's good enough. I mean, 15 minutes of this. I don't know who would want to watch more than 15 minutes.
That was going to be my point.
Guitar. And the other thing you got to keep in mind is when you're doing these ends, you can't gouge the end away, but you can't leave that. If you leave that burr, that's 3 or 4 thousandths up on the end. You're gonna have problems with that later when you're going to file these frets out. Someday I'll show you guys how to hammer a fret, because I like the feel of hammering a fret better than using this, but I'll say it again, with stainless.
Yeah, but how many fret jobs are you going to do that aren't going to be stainless in your life anymore?
Depends. Not for me, but if somebody... I got guys that say, no, I want nickel. Okay, you want to come back in 2 years before it's all worn out, good for you, you know. But that's what they want. They specify that.
Alrighty. Any last tips you want to make before we end this thing at 17 minutes?
17 minutes.
Yep. Time sure flies when you're having as much fun as you're having right now.
Oh yeah. Another thing specced on these. See that? Quarter sawn.
Nice.
The grains.
Well, where's the line on the back?
What line? Oh, what,
I
it's
can't
got a
see it.
rosewood board, so they put it in.
Oh, they covered that. Okay, they
Yeah.
did it from the front.
Right.
Okay, I didn't see the grains on it though. I'll see if I can get the grains.
Quarter sawn.
I know, I saw
It's
that
off-
part.
it's
I didn't
off
see
by
the
the
end
tiniest
part.
bit.
I didn't see the end.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. See if it'll. Yeah, there it is. Alrighty then. You gonna sign off?
Yep. Peace out. Have fun fretting guitars.
Bye, y'all.